my little party animals. Hiphiprenee here today with a brand new renovation battle. If you guys remember last month, we did the renovation battle and worked on the lounge that is in Willow Creek. The name, for whatever reason, is completely escaping me right now. I'm sure it'll come to me at some point. But HavanaSims has put this challenge onto us yet again. And I am going to preface this video by saying I love Havana, and she does a wonderful job at putting together these renovation battles each and every month, and I really, really enjoy doing them. That being said, I hated this renovation. I hated it so much. It was an absolute nightmare to work with this house. Working with the Goth House and renovating the Goth House should be against the Geneva Convention because as far as I am concerned, it's pure torture. And I did not enjoy this. I did not enjoy this one single bit. It was just straight up like this is quite possibly one of the worst builds that will ever hopefully be on my channel. I did such a terrible, terrible job with this build, and there's a few different reasons for that. One of the reasons is because my girl Havana, I love you, girl, but why do you not have Jungle Adventures? I need the countertops from Jungle Adventures. I need the fridge from Jungle Adventures. I need furniture from I have to buy it for you at this point because like if I have to do another renovation without Jungle Adventures, I don't realize how much I use that particular pack, but it's a lot. It's a lot more than I expected. So that was tough. I also had a tough time because Havana does not have vampires, which is not one of my favorite packs just as far as like gameplay is concerned. But again, with the building items in that, especially for the Goth House, I really wanted to use a lot of the items from vampires. So I had quite a time trying to kind of work around these certain packs that we were not allowed to use during this particular renovation. On top of that, something that you may or may not have noticed in my builds, just as I've, been doing them on my channel or uploading to the gallery, I very, very rarely use the tall wall height. And the reason for that is because I don't like using the Sims 3 camera. The only time that I really use the Sims 3 camera is if I need to get into like teeny tiny little crevices or anything like that, which happens with like bathrooms and stuff like that, but it doesn't happen all that often. I really prefer using the Sims 4 camera. I find it easier for me personally to work with. So tall wall heights with the Sims 4 camera, either you have to have the walls all the way down or you have to have them half down, because if you have them all the way up and you have smaller rooms, it's nearly impossible to see what is going on in that particular room. And while this is the Goth family house and the Goth family is supposed to, they're supposed to be rich. They're kind of like the land grabs of Willow Creek where they're, one of the more affluent families. This house is not that large and it's not really on a very large lot either. So this house is surprisingly small for the tallness of the walls, for one thing, and also for just kind of what you would expect the Goth family to live in. Look at this. They barely have any yard here. They really don't have a lot of yard. And it's because this house is on such a small lot that it ends up taking up most of the lot. So there's really not a ton of space for outdoor activities or anything like that. So this was a really, really tough and a really, really challenging renovation for me. I am going to say right now, I am making a vow that never, ever, ever again on my channel will you see me try and renovate the Goth House. It's just not going to happen. I do not like the shape of this house. I do not like the height of the walls. I do not like its location. There is really not a single thing about the Goth House that I can say I actually enjoy. And I know that my sadistic friend HavanaSims did this on purpose Even when she mentioned in the group chat, guys, we're gonna do the Goth House, I'm pretty sure like 90% of us in the group chat were like, what? Why? Because this house, I mean, it's so bad. And no offense to whoever the person that created this house over at EA was. I mean, you know, for what it is and for it being a straight up base game house, it's not the worst house. It's really not. It's just not my style of house. It's not my style of build. It's not something that I really enjoyed working on. That being said, I'm going to try really hard during this video not to complain about this house the entire time, because that's probably what this video is going to turn into. I do really like the way the exterior of this house turned out. I did not add anything to the exterior. We did have quite a few rules going into this. Let me see if I can find them. I feel like I saved them somewhere. I did. So going into the Goth renovation battle, this is what we had to work with. So the Goths have lived in the same depressing house for centuries. It's time to dust off the cobwebs and give this home a fresh look. So the rules were you must keep the shape of the home, but you can add, remove, change the windows, doors, fences, gates, landscaping, staircases, columns, all that fun stuff. But really you couldn't change the structure of the house as far as like the exterior is concerned. You had to brighten up the home from inside, but keep their signature red. That was another thing I had a really big challenge with, specifically on the interior of the house, because red is not one of my favorite colors in The Sims to work with. And the reasoning for that is because we have a decent amount of red items. I'm not saying that there is a lack of red items by any means of the word. But the red items that we do have are either like a very bright kind of candy apple red or more of a maroon kind of color. And I really feel like candy apple red and maroon don't really go together very well. So I had a tough time trying to make things match. I also had a really hard time trying to figure out this layout for this house. It was not fun. I don't like the kitchen at all. I think I made the kitchen way too big, but I don't know what else I really could have put downstairs. It's such an oddly shaped house, and it's so tall for being such, you know, so compact. Again, I'm going to try not to complain the entire time, but I had a time, guys. The next rule is the home must include a fireplace on the first floor. Thank God, though, Havana let us change the fireplace and let us use whatever fireplace we wanted, because if I had to keep the ugly fireplace that was in this house, I might have died. I might have just had a stroke. Rob would have found me at the computer just crying in the fetal position under the desk. I don't know. But you have to include a fireplace on the first floor, a library, and a third bedroom on the second floor. The room on the third floor can be changed to whatever you like as long as it's not a bedroom. Now, I did start renovating this house when we had the original rules, and the original rules were we had to completely get rid of the room that is on the third floor. So I did end up deleting the room that's on the third floor. It is still within the more updated rules, but a few people came up with some good ideas for what to do with that room. So Havana very graciously allowed us to keep it. It just was not allowed to be a bedroom. And then we could not use the following packs: Jungle Adventures, Vampires, My First Pet Stuff, Fitness Stuff, Kids Room Stuff, and Strangerville. The one that I was really sad about was Strangerville as far as the exterior is concerned, because the windows and doors that come with Strangerville just scream Goth House to me. Like, if the Goths lived in Strangerville, they would use all of those windows and all of those doors. They just really fit with the personality, I feel, of the Goth family. Now, we are in the living room right now. This is my favorite, and actually, I think the only room in the house that I actually really like. I love the way that this turned out. I would use this in a regular build, not even just like, you know, a Goth specific or a red specific kind of room. I think this is a really cute room, and I am really proud of the way that this room came out. The rest of the rooms, not so much. And I think it's because this is the first room that I did. So at this point, I was still like, yeah, no, I can totally do this. Like, this house is terrible, but it's okay. Like, I'm gonna make it work. And I was still, you know, like really optimistic about this entire situation. And then, I don't know, just going on through the rooms, I started getting frustrated with my layout, and I was like, well, I don't want to have to delete everything and go back and redo the entire layout because that would make me even more frustrated. So, you know, I ended up keeping the layout and I made it work, but I don't think this is my best work. And I'm so sorry for that. I'm sorry that you have to watch this, and I'm sorry that you have to hear me complain about it the entire time. So this is a renovation battle. So I don't think that I'm going to win this round. I guess I came pretty close last round when we did the lounge in Willow Creek. I did a pretty good job on that one. I actually really liked the way that one turned out. But I think Maple Simmer ended up winning the last round. So our renovation is due today, and Havana will be touring all of the builds on Twitch, so you guys can definitely check that out. So you can go see her kind of just go around and show off everybody's builds, and then there will be a poll. So you can go to the poll and you can vote for whichever simmer you think did the best renovation. If you love me and you want me to win for God knows what reason, you can definitely head over to that poll. It will be linked in my description box down below once it is up. So you can head over to that poll and go vote for me. I am not, asking for your votes or begging for your votes. I really feel like you should go and vote for the person that you think did the best job. At the current moment in time when I am recording this voiceover, I have not seen anybody else's renovation, but there are a ton of talented simmers in this renovation battle, so I am positive there is somebody who did a better job than me, or quite possibly everybody did a better job than me. So definitely vote for who you think deserves it the most, who you think did the best renovation. And if you really, really can't decide, that's when you can just, vote for me because you love me. This kitchen killed me. This kitchen took me a significant amount of time, and I really probably should have cut a lot of this kitchen out because everything that you're seeing here ends up getting deleted. And then it comes back. It does come back. I do end up using those tiny little square kind of things. What are those? Like end tables, side tables. I do end up using those under that window, but I did end up just switching up the layout and adding a little half wall in the kitchen because I don't know, this kitchen was huge, guys. It was huge and there was not a lot of wall space. And you guys know, if you're a builder, for kitchens, you really do need a decent amount of wall space just to get the countertops up against the wall. Any other room, you can really kind of work with not having a lot of wall space and making it, just kind of putting your furniture closer towards the middle of the room. It doesn't really work that way with kitchens. I mean, nobody wants to have counters just like kind of haphazardly sitting in the middle of a room. That would be super weird. It would be super awkward. So I did end up using this little half wall and kind of separating out the two sides of the kitchen. There is a lot of empty floor space in this kitchen. First off, because I was frustrated and I just kind of wanted to be done with this kitchen. But on top of that, I have spoken about this in previous videos. I am also working on trying not to over furnish or over clutter things because I do tend to have that problem. I feel like a lot of us have that problem because, again, we do have so many items in the game that, everybody kind of has their favorite items and things that they want to use and things that they use in every single build. And it's really hard to kind of stop yourself at some point and be like, no, I don't need to put these items in here. I can make this a little bit more simple. The Sims do need room to walk around. I have been trying to be a little bit more conscious as far as making my builds more playable, and I say that after my garden cottage came out on Wednesday, and that build I did not realize was completely not playable until I went to go take my screenshots, and the Sim could not even get into the house, so that was fun. But I did end up doing a little bar area over here. I really wasn't sure what to put in here. And again, with the tall wall height, I really wanted to take up some of that height so it wasn't just, you know, things on the floor and then just all sorts of wall above it. So I did end up doing, you know, kind of a little cabinet feature with some wine. I felt like that was perfect for Bella and Mortimer. And if you guys haven't seen yet, I don't know if you noticed this the other day, on Wednesday I actually did 2 uploads and both of them were collabs. This is like collab week on my channel for this month. I did the Garden Cottage with Unique Simmer, and then I also did the Goth Family Makeover, which was a makeover battle with my best friend, Kitty Cat Plays with Yarn. She did a fabulous job, and what we did is we each made over the Goth family, but one of us did just a straight up, what you have in the game is what you get to work with, and then Kitty Cat Plays with Yarn actually did a CC makeover, and she did a really good job. You guys know, maybe you don't know, I don't use CC. I really just don't. I don't see any need to. I like the challenge of just using what I have in the game, and the thought of going CC shopping is just like super overwhelming to me. I want nothing to do with it. So she did a great job. I think that she picked out some really nice CC items for the Goth family, and I ended up just doing a regular old Sims makeover for them. So we decided to do that this week because I knew that this video was coming out today. So I thought it might be nice to kind of do, you know, something that was a little bit lined up with each other. So the Goth family makeover and then the Goth family house renovation. So we have actually moved upstairs. We do have 2 bathrooms upstairs. One of them is the master. The other bathroom connects to both Cassandra and Alexander's room, so they kind of have a little Jack and Jill style bathroom. Poor Alexander has a teeny tiny little room, but that's okay. He's a teeny tiny little guy, so it'll be totally fine. And I don't know, these bedrooms were really tough. I had a very hard time with the layouts. I do like the little sitting room that is off of the master bedroom. You kind of walk into the sitting room and then you go into the bedroom. I love that idea. I wish that I had something like that in my real life house. I think that would be super cool. But I don't know, these bedrooms, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being like way too hard on myself and this is not nearly as bad as I think it is, but I don't know, still not my favorite. I do think it turned out okay, but I don't think that I would play in this house, to be entirely honest. So I do quickly want to just mention everybody that is in this renovation challenge. You can find all of the links to their channels in the description box down below, so you can go check out how they renovated the Goth house, and you can again also see it on Havana's Twitch. She will be touring all of these houses. So we have Hey Sweet Pea, we have the alleged simmer, my good friend Taryn. I'm just kidding. It's the alleged simmer, and her name is Tommy. We have Bree Simulated, Ashuria, Hazy Simmer, Maple Simmer, Samashuga, and I'm sorry, I feel like I pronounce your name wrong every single time. We have B-Ray Sunny, Jessica Pie, Carrie Plays, and of course, HavanaSims, who put together this wonderful renovation battle for us. So now one of the rules of this house, like I had mentioned before, was that we had to put a library into this house. And the original rules, like I said, we had some original rules and then we kind of changed them up a little bit kind of halfway through. The original rule was the second floor had to include 3 bedrooms plus a library. So I did end up keeping the library on the second floor, even though I could have put it on the first floor. Looking back, I do wish that I had skipped the formal dining room and just done a library down there and maybe given Alexander a little bit of a bigger bedroom, but you know, it works. I think it's okay. That's what we'll go with. So I did do just a very basic library, 2 bookshelves, a little chess table, and then just some skill building items. So we have a guitar and we have a few easels and things like that. We are going to Alexander's bedroom. So Alexander is obviously the young child of the Goths. He does have a very small room, and with the layout of where the doors were, I kind of had to keep everything over to the left of his bedroom here, just so I wasn't blocking any pathways for the Sims to be able to walk into the bedroom and then into the bathroom that is connected. This is me desperately hunting for the Void Critters poster that I then realized was in the kids stuff pack, which is one of the packs that we were not allowed to use. And I actually even ended up searching for it because I was like, where, like, am I blind? Like, is it under wall decor? Is it under like paintings and stuff? Where is this? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I can't use it. So I had quite a time with that. That was pretty fun. So I did end up just hanging up a few posters around his room. I think that works out fine. And he does have his little chemistry set in there as well. So he has some skill building items to kind of play around with while he's up in his room. And then the final room we are working on over here is Cassandra's room. And actually, you know, I don't hate this room. I think it's kind of cute. Not my super favorite, but I do think it works very well for Cassandra. It, you know, gives her a little bit of, you know, kind of push and pull, if you will. So it's sleek, it's modern, but she also has, you know, some, you know, kind of just random things around like the easel and that little stack of suitcases and books and things like that. So I feel like it's just kind of, you know, it's a nice little, I can't even think of a word. I think it looks nice. I don't know. But we are heading into the screenshots now. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this build. Hopefully more than I enjoyed this build. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. I would super appreciate it. If you're new here or you're not new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. You guys will actually get a second video from me today because we are heading back to the jungle with Quinn in the Birthstone Legacy Challenge. So you will see that coming out on my channel in a few hours. And thank you guys so much. Make sure you head to HavanaSims Twitch so you can go see her stream and tour all of these lovely renovations. And make sure that you check out the poll as well so you can vote for who you think did the best job renovating the Goth House. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.